Welcome to the third episode of Strategic Business Planning. I'm your host, John Coombs, and today I have Noah Crim from Crim Logic Films. Noah Crim is the founder and CEO of Crim Logic Films, a fast-growing auto detailing and paint protection company located here in Maryville, Tennessee, that has set new standards for quality and precision in the automotive industry. Despite being relatively new to entrepreneurship, Noah's leadership and hands-on expertise have driven Crim Logic Films to remarkable success. The company has cultivated a loyal clientele that ranges from everyday drivers to high-end luxury vehicles, consistently earning glowing reviews and building a reputation for excellence. With over 5 years' experience in the automotive sector, Noah understands the value of staying at the front of the industry's trends, investing in cutting-edge techniques, and creating genuine connections with clients. His approach emphasizes the art of craftsmanship paired with strategic mindset that's propelled Crim Logic Films' growth. Every vehicle leaving Crim Logic Films is meticulously detailed and protected, reflecting Noah's dedication to delivering lasting quality. Noah's style is candid, professional, and genuine. He brings a real-world perspective to building a thriving service-based business in the automotive industry, sharing insights on optimizing client interaction and fostering a passionate, close-knit team that thrives on continuous learning and excellence. Join Noah as he explores what it takes to grow a customer-centric business from the ground up, one that exceeds clients' expectation and is built to last. So, Noah, talk about how you got into the industry.
Originally got into this industry, started out as just a kid. Honestly, my dad worked on cars all my life. My grandfather worked on cars all his life, so basically it was in the cards for me to do it. I started in high school. I went through all of the work-based learning and did all of the school and classes at the high school I went to.
Sure.
They had auto mechanics. I did that. I did auto body. I did welding. I did all of the things that led me into being in this industry.
Right.
Went and did it. Hated being a mechanic and said, you know what? Let's go to the clean side.
Yeah.
And I got into detailing, got into paint correction and ceramic coating first. Originally went from there into window tint. I went in, started doing tinting, got really good at it, and I was like, okay, maybe I can keep trying more things. So I ended up bringing myself to learn wrap, PPF, window tint, on top of already had known paint correction and ceramic coating.
Sure.
It was only a matter of time before I moved out and decided to do it on my own.
How old are you?
I am 24.
24. I know there's somebody watching out there right now that might be a little older, might be younger. You might be in high school. 24 years old, and he owns his own business. That's impressive. So talk a little bit about how your business was formed and what was the breaking point about when you stopped working for someone else and how it looks when you decide to do that and go out on your own.
So my main breaking point was I really just got tired of working for somebody else. I got tired of working basically somebody else's schedule, somebody else's whatever. I wanted to go out and do it differently. I wanted to do it my own. I wanted to make my own business. I wanted to focus on the customer.
Sure.
I'm here to make money. I'm here to do it. I'm here to have a business. But at the end of the day, if I don't have my customers, I don't have a business. So my primary focus is customer satisfaction, building a relationship with my customers and my clients, and just overall being a people person. That's helped me get here, but from previous workplaces, I wasn't allowed to be that person.
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to have the customer interaction, so it was like I was missing a part of that.
Sure.
the sales area. And I enjoyed that part of it. I enjoyed building relationships with customers. Like to this day, I still have clients that come through here that I could hit up on the weekends and we'll go run like the Dragon or something and go have a good time.
Sure.
And then that next week they're dropping a car off for a detail.
Nice.
And that's just the part of it I wanted. I wanted to be able to market my business and myself in order to kind of grow.
Okay.
But basically that leaving the old business that I worked at was the biggest step of all of it. It was intimidating. It was scary. Going and this being my only main source of income and having bills, it's terrifying.
Sure.
But you can do it. If you set it up right, you plan enough ahead, you can pull the trigger and do it.
Awesome. So what would you tell to those that are watching that are thinking about it, even if they're not young, if they're in their 30s or 40s, say they've been in the industry for 20, 30 years, and they know that they have the knowledge to make it work, but they are not sure if they can make it or not? What would you tell them in regards to taking that leap of
Started
entrepreneurship?
part-time.
Part-time?
Part-time.
Okay.
So with this line of work, a lot of the time it takes a good bit of time to establish. I mean, I've only been doing this since February.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still establishing myself, but the growth I've seen over this last couple of months has been crazy. It's just been steady. Start part-time. Build your name, build your reputation, build everything up, and then once you have your portfolio, you have it all, you can start marketing with your work, go for it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Let's do it.
Just, if you're in the position where you can do it, drop what you're doing now and just do it. What do you have to lose?
Okay. So, segue into that. How do you do that? How do you network? How do you find the people that are either going to feed you business or are going to refer you business? And how do you handle those customers or referral partners in a way that they will continue?
So a lot of my networking, I've joined a lot of groups. So I've been doing a little bit of like in-person networking, meeting up with people, having meetings, and actually getting to know other people in other industries that can help me with referrals. Also in industries that I can send referrals to them. So we kind of have a way where we send stuff back and forth to each other, keep each other busy, and that's helped me out a lot, alongside with word of mouth. I strive to do nothing but quality work, and I try to put out the highest quality I can in order for people to be like, hey, they went that extra step. That's the shop I got my work done. I really recommend them. That's grown my business more than I think really a lot of anything.
Right.
And that's just simply because I will take the extra steps and I will go that extra mile to make the customer happy.
Sure. Okay, so 7 or 8 months into business, you're in your first year of business. What are you doing to plan your next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road?
So I'm still waiting to kind of see how this first year kind of wraps up, really.
Okay.
Once I see how the first year goes is really where I'm going to start doing my 2 to 3 year from now planning. Hopefully by 2 to 3 years from now, we'll actually be able to expand the shop, make it a little bit bigger, so we have a little more room for more employees, more cars, more inflow.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I kind of just want to see how this year wraps up. I know I have a few things planned for next year. But I just want to see how things wrap up, and then once I have a good idea of how the first year goes, I'll be able to plan out a little better for the next
Awesome.
few.
So how do you feel about your first 8 months in business?
It's been hectic. Yeah. I will say the stress levels at first, when I first started, were higher than what they are now. Now that I've kind of got the swing of things, it's been like I said, about 8 months, give or take. It's the first 4 were crazy. Just getting everything started, trying to grow the business, you get discouraged because it's not growing as fast as you want. Sure. And all of a sudden you hit that boom. Yeah. And then it is straight work. But basically it was just keep it going.
So I talk to business owners on a regular, couple times a week, and sometimes they want to quit. Sometimes they want to just close the doors. Yep. Just do away with everything, go back and work for someone in the same industry or even change careers. What advice would you have for those that are in your shoes that are, say, a couple months in, maybe even a year in, and they haven't quite had the growth that they needed, but they could hear from you that it's going to be all right.
I remember when I first opened this shop, I'd have a car a week. One car a week, and that was maybe $200 in my pocket a week.
Right.
Don't stop. Just post everywhere. Post, tell your friends everything you're doing. Post everywhere. Do everything you can to get your name out as far as you can get it. Eventually somebody will bite, and once that one person bites, you get that one that goes out to the other one, and then the other one, and then another one, and then another one, and then you'll slowly grow. Don't get discouraged. Like,
cool.
That's simple as that. Just don't get discouraged.
I like it. That's pretty simple.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I've had my moments where it's like, yeah, I just want to say, screw it, close doors, quit, and walk out.
Right.
You can't. If you keep into it and you keep going, you never know what's going to happen. So just keep trying.
Sure. Have you had anyone that's been an entrepreneur in your life, whether it be family or friends, before you did this?
Oddly enough, no. I'm the first one.
Okay.
Nobody in my family has really straight out and was like, I'm going to start a business. That's going to be my thing. Yeah.
So
I'm like the only one, really.
Have you had any mentors, or have you had anybody that you've crossed paths with?
A lot of the people I've met in my networking groups have been mentors towards me. They've been able to kind of guide me in a direction and kind of be like, don't bite off more than you can chew, kind of look at it from this perspective.
Right.
They've helped me out a lot, and especially I am a younger person. I am completely new to all of this, and I'm kind of just threw myself to the wolves.
Sure.
So it's great having some people and some resources to reach out to and be like, hey, am I doing this right?
Sure.
Should I be doing this?
Absolutely.
And then you get the feedback that you're looking for, whether it be positive or negative.
Right.
You can never take negative feedback negatively, though.
Yeah.
You always have to take it with a positive twist.
Absolutely. So you're trying to figure out life and business.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, I'm 40.
I mean, I'm 24 years old.
I'm
still new to
42,
this.
right? So I'm 42. I'm not saying I've figured out life, but I've had 20 years.
You've got more experience than I do.
Experience in life,
Yeah.
But so life part is I've got an avenue where I know I've been and where I'm going, and you don't even know that, right?
Yeah.
So that's hard. What would you say to someone that's in the same situation? Because there's a lot. If you're in your 20s,
Me personally,
figured it out.
I live it day by day.
Okay.
I've been in a lot of situations where you just have to go day by day sometimes.
Sure.
Now I do like to plan. I like to plan ahead of time. I like to at least have a month or two planned so I know what I can expect of the month or what's going to happen.
Right.
A lot of the time you just have to go day by day.
Wow. Okay, so there's obviously going to be people that are watching or listening that are young also. I personally have talked to friends of mine that are younger as well, and I don't think you're in this category, but there's people out there that think because they're young that no one's going to take them seriously.
I struggle with that.
Okay.
So
talk about that.
With somebody at my age, I'm 24. I've got one employee that's older than me, and for me personally, it's hard to think, okay, I'm young, and somebody older than me is going to have to actually take what I say, absorb it, and put it into practice. It's hard for me to put that in my head that I can do that.
Sure.
So for me, I'm very open to my employees. Like, I will tell them like how I feel if I say something, if they react in a way. I am very straightforward with everybody. I try to keep an open communication about how everything's going, how their mental state is, how they're doing in with the workplace. I try to make it as low stress as possible on anybody.
Okay.
So I ask for that in return. I ask for the respect in return, and I also give them the same respect.
Cool.
But a lot of the time, I do struggle with it. But at the end of the day, you are the boss. You own the business. Mm-hmm. You are in control.
Sure.
You are the person running the show.
Right.
And you just have to find people that will respect that. And some people just simply won't. And if they won't, sorry.
Gotta go.
Yeah, it's part of it. If
Sure.
you can't respect it, sorry.
So do you incorporate that into your hiring process or your partnerships?
Kind of, yeah. It's a lot of respect has to be there for me to hire, basically. I have to know that you're gonna be able to take criticism from me and be able to take criticism from, say, like my business partner. He's the one that does like my PPF.
Yeah.
I need somebody that's going to be able to take the criticism and take the information and absorb it and
Okay.
not reject it because of, oh, he's younger than me, he doesn't know any better.
Sure. So not just taking business into account as far as business networking, but I imagine there's car shows. There's the Dragon that's close to here. You know people. It's there's a couple 100,000 people in this area, but you probably have a group that you see people.
Yeah.
Is that something that people can market to those for employees or maybe?
Not really. For like, I don't have my employees really do much when it comes to marketing. I know me personally, I'll go out, brand myself, brand my business.
Yeah.
I
I mean, finding employees.
Finding
Can you find
employees.
employees at places like that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
A lot of the time, I really like to find people genuinely that are interested in this line of work, and a lot of people in the car scenes and stuff like that, they pay to have that done. So
Perfect.
it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to
I
find that enthusiast
Yeah.
that really wants to buckle down and do it
Yeah.
themselves.
Right.
Like me personally, I've done everything. Like me myself with some friends, we'll do whatever to a car.
Okay.
But finding that in a lot of people or somebody in a group of people, it's hard to find.
Okay. All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about operations. So you're in the automotive industry, the clean side, as you said. How does day to day or week to week, how does it look? I mean, you talked about scheduling, you talked about different techniques and different things you offer. How does operations at Crim Logic Films work?
My day to day is so random, and I love it. I enjoy it, honestly,
Sure.
because not every day is the same. One day I can have a vehicle like the one that's behind us, and it's a full paint correction ceramic coating with PPF. That one starts off its day with a full decontamination wash. We pull it in, tape it off, start paint correcting, start fixing the paint that we got to fix.
Sure.
Once that's done, we go through, alcohol wipe the whole car, and make sure all of the surface is ready for film, ready for coatings, ready for anything going on,
Wow.
even all the way down to window tint. We'll clean the inside and outside of the glass before we even touch it with soapy water from the tint.
Wow.
Before it even gets hit by a scrubby or a squeegee, it's inside out and cleaned.
So a word that was inside your bio is meticulous.
Yeah, we are
So
very.
It's so alcohol wipes. So I'm ignorant when it comes to like the techniques that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone was going to do business with you, how are you different in a sense that there's others that might do that, but what do you do that's different than other people?
This customer that has dropped off this Tesla behind me has actually received probably upwards to 15 to 20 pictures through the entire week it has been here. Just verifying that, hey, we're doing our work, we're showing you the process and what difference it's making on
Yeah.
your vehicle. So like with a paint correction, you can obviously see like scratching walking itself away. You get to
Right.
see it go away.
Yeah.
Getting the pictures of the same panel before and after we've done that process, I feel like gives it a little bit more of a personal connection, and it shows like a little window into our shop. Like,
Sure.
hey, holy cow, they're actually taking the time and taking that 30 seconds to a minute to reach out to me and let me know, like, hey, look at this change that made on this vehicle. And I've actually gotten a lot of feedback from that saying like, hey, we appreciate that, we like that.
Yeah.
It helps us stay a little bit more comfortable with your vehicle being here. And it's been recognized.
That's
and
awesome.
that's something that I'll continue to do, and I have my employee do.
That's awesome.
It's been recognized, and it's something that I'll continue to do.
Sure. So in a modern digital world, if you will, communication is key in every relationship. So your customers are a relationship. And so what you're saying is the communication that you're having with your customer is definitely a do.
Yes.
And a don't is to not.
Consistent communication will always make somebody feel more comfortable, especially when they're leaving their car with you for 3, 4, 5 days in a row.
Wow.
I mean, that's some people's second biggest investment.
Oh, yeah.
Is their vehicle.
For sure.
So they're also paying to protect that investment, but I also have that in my possession for an extended period of time. I want you to know that your vehicle is here, it is safe, it's locked inside every night.
Okay.
We've got cameras everywhere, so it's perfectly safe here. But I just want my customers to know that.
Sure. So others that are watching in let's say maybe bigger cities that have a lot more luxurious cars or exotic cars, if you will, if they're watching and they're thinking about doing this, how do they like what kind of insurance, what kind of, you talked about cameras, but what's the process look like to show someone, hey, I not only have a business license, but I have this, this, and here's how you can feel comfortable. Like, for instance, a bond for like people that are inside people's houses. They have a bond just in case something gets stolen or broken.
We have everything on my laptop. It's all on a Google Docs.
Okay.
I'll separate it out. So if anybody ever has question, pull out the laptop, plug it into the TV, and I will run through every bit of documentation they want to see.
Nice.
Now, when it comes to the exotics and the hypercars and the nicer vehicles, I've done so many of them that my portfolio, like my camera roll, I can scroll through in its sections, and I can pick one out, show it to them, show them basically I've done the work, I've done it before, I've done it multiple times before, and a lot of the time in the car community, they learn to trust you after you do a few, and you've not had any bad reviews out of it.
Right.
And if you look, like right now, I think my page is at a solid 5.0, 5-star. I try to make it my goal to make sure everybody gets the same treatment too.
Okay.
So you can come to me with a Honda Civic or you can come to me with a Pagani.
Right.
I'm going to treat you exactly the same.
That's awesome. So let's talk about maybe something that has been an error on your part, or if somebody brought something in and, I don't know, I'm just imagining a bubble underneath
Mistakes
something.
happen.
So let's say I think I've heard you tell a story where you redid the whole thing. That customer, did you communicate that, hey, I messed up?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've actually had one recently. So film company came out with a new film. It's got stars in it. A lot of the show car guys are getting it done, and me personally, I've never installed it before. I installed it 2 times. Both times I had an incident where the film actually shifted on me last squeegee pass. Cool. I admitted it. We have film on the way. Already getting it redone. Now, when occasions like that, I catch it. Sometimes I am human. I don't catch everything. They'll send me a picture. I'll be like, what is this? I'll be like, that is a warranty redo for you. And I try to make it my goal to be very what's the word I want to use? I want to be more personable to them.
Sure.
So when they text me and they're like, what is this? They might be upset, and I'm going to reply immediately with, that looks like an install error that is on my end. I will cover the reinstall and stripping of it. We'll get it covered for you.
Okay.
And like most of my stuff carries lifetime warranty except for like PPF and wraps. I cover it. That's what it's there for.
Right.
And I don't ever want anybody to hesitate and be like, hey, this is messed up. Okay, I'll redo it. That's perfectly fine. I'm a human.
So obviously you're saying to not argue with the customer.
Never.
And to completely...
Well, customer's not always right. There's occasions where, I mean, you can tell. If you've been in the industry long enough, you can tell when it's customer error or your error.
Yeah.
Now, if it's physical damage, stuff like that, there's nothing I can really do.
Right.
I can't control if you
somebody keyed their car.
Yeah, I can't control that.
Yeah.
Now, if it's something I've done, obviously it's my error. I have to make it right. So obviously we'll take care of it.
Yeah. So even just don't be the know-it-all. Just say, hey, I messed up.
I'm human. I apologize.
Yeah.
I understand that it is it's bad when I'm not in the situation. It's hard to think of the words I use.
Sure.
I know it's an inconvenience. I apologize.
Right.
Whatever schedule works for you, we can get your vehicle in. I try to work warranty stuff as easy on the customer as possible.
Sure.
It just makes it overall a more pleasurable experience for everybody involved.
Okay, now earlier you talked about not working for the man, setting your own schedule, doing your own things. Most of the time, when people start their own business, they work a whole lot more than they did originally. Yes. So if somebody was to, let's say they wanted to start their own business doing something similar to what you're doing or in the automotive industry, how much more do you put time-wise in your business than you would have working for someone else?
When I was employed elsewhere, I was probably working maybe 30 hours a week.
Okay.
Making a decent amount, because in this line of work, you can make a little bit of money working for somebody. But now I'm putting, I think 1 week I put in 72 hours.
Wow.
And it was, I mean, I had 40 hours plus in just a paint correction.
Yeah.
But I also still have the rest of that schedule. So you do end up working more. But it's almost like it's different.
Sure.
You're doing it for yourself. It's not as taxing on your mental workload.
Right.
Now the physical workload, it gets a little crazy, but again, I can make my own schedule. I can work in where I can take my work home and make it more easy on me.
The work life balance.
Yeah, the work life balance. It makes it easier on me some weeks, and then I can make it to where it's just I'm working.
I like it. So, in this short amount of time that you've been in business, is there anything that you have done that has either propelled you or something that has taken a whole lot of time to figure out, hey, I need to fix this now and revert?
Just fix it.
Yeah, just fix it.
I don't think I've really ran across anything like that other than I've mainly changed my marketing kind of ways.
Okay, talk about that a little bit.
I used to make these long posts explaining every little detail of what we did, and I've learned that really, it works for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, they're not going to read all that. They're going to read the first line and that's it.
So you reach more people over time by doing smaller
So
content.
I've started using shorter posts and just kind of getting straight to the point and using more pictures so it grabs attention.
I like it.
But again, I've primarily stuck all of my stuff to social medias.
Cool.
I've been thinking about going with a website, but as of right now, word of mouth and social media has been keeping me pretty booked out for at least the last 8 months.
Okay. So we're going to wrap it up a little bit here, but if somebody wanted to reach out to you on social, or we're going to put your information in the video.
The best way to reach me is our Facebook page at Crim Logic Films. We do have an Instagram, a TikTok, all the good social medias, and they're all at CrimLogic_films. Makes it pretty easy to find us.
Awesome.
And if you ever want to reach out, if you're local to the area, 865-951-4150, get you straight to here.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Y'all have a good day.